Well. Welcome, everybody. Welcome our, let's see here, two people in the chat. Love it. Donnie and Danny. You can't beat having a Donnie and a Danny. You know, you take the A, you take the O, you swap it. You almost got the same person. Danny, Donnie. It's perfect. Oh, we got Dina P. Now, guys, you know, when you're sick in life, when you're close, not even close to death, you start thinking about death. Not even close to death, but you start thinking about it. You know, what we doing is important to people. Is the new stuff important to people? Is when I talk, is when, you know, good old Connor talk. Is it important to people? You know, some people say our news is shit. It's not important. So, you know, I pick up, well, let's talk. Let's see what's going on in the world of news. Wow. Lincoln founder says he's not surprised Trump attacked Elon Musk. His career highlight was pretending to be successful in the TV show. Wow, that's important. I got to know what these billionaires are talking about each other. That's important news. I got to check that out. Oh, here's important news. Tom Brady says he and Trump haven't talked in a lot of years. Whoa. Why haven't they talked? Wow, that must be important news. I mean, I didn't even give a shit when they did talk. They could have talked last night. I wouldn't give a shit. But that's important news, dude. I mean, listen, I got respect for Tom Brady. But him have talked to Trump in years? That's news. Well, let's see here. Whoa, here's important news. Bill Gates pledged to give away virtually all his money will erase him from the world's wealthiest list. Wow. I don't even give a shit about the wealthiest list, but Bill Gates giving all his money away? Hell, that's important news, right?
Just the fact that they're trying to paint him as a good person right now. I take all those headlines as like inspirational. I'm like, man, where the world is going right now, just straight into a dumpster fire. It's all the more reason for us to, you know, keep illuminating, man. It's our duty.
Listen, I'm not making fun of anybody's deaths out there, but here's the big news: Ivana Trump, ex-wife of former president, dies at 73. Not even the wife he has now. This is the ex-wife. That's on the news. I mean, it's just what we talk about is not important, you know. But all this other news must be important. Oh, hold on. Pete Davidson talks about the scrutiny he takes for dating Kardashian. Holy shit. That's news I need to know. What does Pete Davidson think of social media? Think of him for dating a Kardashian. Wow. So what we do, Connor, is not important. You know, we got to stop talking about cryptids. You know, we got to stop talking about paranormal. We got to talk about real news. We got to know what goes on in the minds of Pete Davidson for dating a Kardashian. What is his struggle in life? What he has to go through. He must be taking therapy because of this. You know? So we should drop everything that we have talked about in the past and go a new direction, Connor. What do you think? Should we start covering these real news shows, these news channels? Let's see here.
Yeah, Celebrity Gossip Highway. We could talk about Seal and Heidi Klum and Khloe Kardashian having a baby with Tristan after she already cheated on him 5 times.
Wow.
Like, man, all that demons to me, man. So, and actually, it is paranormal in a way. Man, you just can't.
Well, actually,
and sadly, most of society does.
This is actually not a bad news article here. The devil, Lucifer himself, is apparently entombed in Somerset, New Jersey. Okay, actually, that's a little interesting. I guess the devil, Lucifer himself, is hanging out in New Jersey today. Wow, that's kind of cool. So when people talk shit about this, I'm like, okay, then let's talk about Dave Peterson, whatever these people's name are. Let's talk about Trump making fun of Elon Musk. Okay, that's what I need to know in life. You know what I say? Fuck all of them. We talk about the shit we love and we care about because we're passionate about it. So let's get into some cryptids. Now, we've all heard, maybe, I think everybody have heard about the Iceland worm monster. I mean, I know I showed the video before. I'm just going to show a picture. Then I do have another video on this Iceland worm monster. I have shown this before, that some people think that's sticking in the water frozen. I mean, I don't know. The Iceland worm. It's called the Iceland wormhole because we're visiting Iceland today. And there is a video shot of apparently supposed to be an Iceland worm. Maybe a lot of you seen it. Maybe some of you haven't. But there's no sound or nothing. It's just a fast 30-second clip. Some people are saying that that's the Iceland worm monster. Can it be? I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But that's what the video was called. It's called the Iceland worm monster, Lagarfljo worm. It is or not, I can't tell you. Is it this? I don't know. But I mean, oh, hold on. So Connor, what do you know about the Iceland worm monster?
Yeah, I've seen the footage, and of course I've heard the stories of it being a serpent or maybe a long log or maybe just weird ice taking different shapes and shifts in the water. I definitely think there are these sea dragons from Iceland all the way to Australia, from Pensacola to Lake Erie, out in Lake Mead in Nevada and Arizona border. So I definitely think these large serpent creatures exist. And the fact that that second footage, it looks somewhat comparable to that. So again, I think, being able to, draw connections is very, very interesting because that looks, authentic, not CGI or anything. It just looks strange and real. So it's definitely interesting, but I'd love to know the scale of things. We don't know if that's 2 feet long or 25 feet long. So it's a weird balance.
How do we know that it get a small fish that's wiggling and just making it look a lot bigger than it is? That's a good point. When I was looking at that footage, but hey, you never know. Is that a stick? Could be. I'm not here to say it's not. I mean, there's a possibility. But it is a folklore story. It is known out there. So it is out there, people. Now, let's talk about elves. Elves. Good old elves. Invisible elves. Get to know your Iceland folklore. So the question is, do Iceland really believe in elves? I don't know. Let's check out this story about elves in Iceland.
To the untrained eye, this barren Icelandic moonscape appears uninhabited, but many locals see things differently. For them, these rocks are the domain of elves, a mythological habitat to be protected at all costs. Elftown, as this place is known, is a popular destination for students of folklore and sagas.
Here in Iceland we have very, very many stories about these creatures, elves, hidden folks, dwarves. I'll tell you stories that are old folk tales. I'll also tell you stories that have been told by people that have had their own experience of meeting these creatures.
It's about finding out about different cultures all over the world, and here, if this is what they believe, then it's what we want to find out about.
For nearly 40 years, Magnus Skarphétinsson has been collecting memorabilia and documenting stories about elves. He's interviewed some 700 Icelanders who claim to have seen them. 26 years ago, he started his elf school as a joke. But when he saw the genuine interest, he became very serious about it.
First of all, guys, I gotta say something. That is fucking awesome. Started the school. He might have said he started as a joke, thinking nobody's gonna like it, but people actually are going to it. Talk about elves, the history, the folklore. That is cool, and that should be recognized.
And the closer you get, the clearer they are, and the witnesses can shake hands with them. And they find the handshake. They can even hug them, and they find them and see them as clearly as they see me.
Elves are a serious business in Iceland, to the extent that houses and roads will be built around the rocky outcrops where they're believed to live. There are plenty of tales of great misfortune befalling those who fail to respect the bond between elves and humans.
At least we ought to be respectful of what people believe, and that is certainly something that's worth learning. The learning of respect for people's beliefs about the environment, about what's out there that others may not see. And of course, we never really know for sure what does and doesn't exist.
People here understand and respect the unique environment of this ruggedly beautiful Atlantic island and its mysterious inhabitants.
He was right behind there and he peeked out like this, and then he smiled. He had a white beard, he was wearing white clothes and had a normal face.
Real or not, the elves have generated an almost instinctive respect for the environment among the young of Iceland.
I love everything about that story. It's almost like you feel kind of jealous that sounds like, I mean, I don't know everybody in Iceland, but they're way more open-minded than we are in America. You know, are there something to the stories? And you heard that one guy, you know, open your mind, you know, you got to listen to some of these stories. What do we know? What's real or not? Love that. And the guy doing the class.
1,000,000%.
I mean, God,
it's a beautiful thing, man. A lot of history. The youth gets to learn about it, and you heard what it said. They get an instinctual feeling of just being around nature and protecting nature and preserving wildlife through these stories. I'm the first advocate of that. You know, all the paranormal and strange stuff, but we have to take care of Mother Earth and the trails and the water that we, you know, reside in. But yeah, it was fascinating that it actually did have those intentions, and it seems like it could be the home to it, man, and a lot of roots, a lot of traditions, all, you know, lead to that, man. It's very cool. What's up, bro?
And another cool thing about the video that I picked on, maybe a lot of people didn't pick on it, but I mean, they're listening to a child talking about seeing an elf. Nobody was laughing at her. Nobody was saying, oh, just a child, she doesn't know. They actually listened to her story. To me, that's fantastic. Now, we do know in life, people do fake things for jokes and all that. And they look at it as fun. Here's a story that's actually faked. They faked a lake monster for fun. I like it, you know, because sometimes you do got to look twice before you assume something is real or not. So this is just a fun story. You know, it's not meant to say, oh, now is Eric mocking it that people fake a lot of stuff? People do fake stuff. They do. And here's a story about one of the a fake lake monster.
At the Dillon Marina,
It's pretty closed down. It's springtime in the high country.
employees are breaking up the ice to keep docks from being damaged, while Craig Simpson says
When I first saw it, you know, it took me my head a minute to kind of wrap around what was out there.
a little further out on the Dillon Reservoir,
Popped right through the ice there.
something strange is breaking up the ice as well.
Apparently, it's an ice monster.
A mystery that popped up a few weeks ago, right around when people started having a little more time than usual.
This popped up about maybe a week into the stay-at-home orders.
With a tail, part of a body, long neck, and head sticking out from the frozen water. And looks like the Loch Ness Monster,
Yeah, Dillon Ness monster.
which seems to be swimming in the Dillon Reservoir.
The lore up here has always been the tale of Blue Dilly. I'm not sure if that's Blue Dilly or a close cousin, but it's a heck of a sea monster.
Stalking unsuspecting ice fishermen well before boating season, but not moving very fast. In fact, it's not moving at all because a closer look And it's clear that this is a man-made monster.
Yeah, it's made out of plywood.
But still, something Craig says is impressive and a lot of fun.
We just have such a creative community, and I just love that somebody woke up in the morning and said, I'm going to go make a sea serpent.
Showing how a wooden lake monster can help people smile during a monstrous time.
Things like that bring some levity to what is otherwise kind of some very tough.
See? Monsters bring joy to people. You know, having fun brings joy. You know, I like that. You know, when times in life trap down, whatever you want to call it. I'm not going to get into that politics stuff. You know, but you can still go out and try to have fun. That's what I like. People going out having to have fun. You know, and I don't think they did it to a point where they're trying to hoax on purpose, because it's staying out there. It's frozen. It's something you see every single day. You know, so you know, hold on a second. Yeah, people do try to hoax, and happened to me this week, Eric and Connor. Watch this. Call fake, do you? Well, let me see here. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me copy that link. Let me put this link here. Oh shit. Did something wrong. Okay. The video isn't available anymore. Huh? It says your video's not available no more? Hold on a second. Oh, it is. It is. So let's see. Let's give it a second. Let's see what he's talking about. Let me go to his channel. Let me share the screen. Let's see here. 20 seconds. Let's see.
What is it, Kramer?
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool.
What is it, Kramer? What is it, Kramer?
That's cool. I like that. I like that. I like that. Because first of all, okay, hold on a second. Let me fix this. That's cool. That's cool. Because first of all, if that was a real Bigfoot, I don't know a dog's going to be that calm. You know a dog can sense. I'm not saying a Bigfoot's a monster or a beast, but a dog knows. A dog knows. Oh, yeah, I read that title. I read your title. But that was cool. Thanks for sharing. I like that. Guys, let's get into some paranormal of Iceland. You know, finding paranormal in Iceland was not easy. So I did find one video. It is like 7 minutes, but it's the top 5 haunted places in Iceland you should never visit. You should never visit these places. But you know by them showing it, you're going to visit, right? So it's like that reverse psychology. You know what I mean? So it is a little longer video, but they got 5 places in Iceland that you should not visit. But if we were there, we will visit. Let's check it out.
In at number 5, we have Stocksness Beach. The Stocksness Beach is a popular sightseeing spot for locals and tourists to see and take pictures of the northern lights, but many people think that this beach is extremely haunted. It is located in the southeast coast of Iceland and has a stunning view with a massive mountain and beautiful black sand. A photographer, Eric Bennett, had an experience where he had stayed on the beach all night to wait for the lights to take pictures. He and his friend Matt were the only people there as the sun went down and the ocean tide came up and washed away all the footprints from the people during the day. They go to the car for a nap, and at 11 p.m. they wake up and find the northern lights shining throughout the sky. They get out their tripods and cameras and start shooting. They were the only 2 people on the beach. When they looked down, they saw mysterious footprints leading up to their tripod, and then they just stopped. They were big, defined, wet footprints. They suddenly turned on their headlamps, and no other footprints of humans were found in sight. Eric showed the photos he had taken of the footprints to Matt, and he freaked out, saying he had a strange feeling the entire night and wasn't able to nap because he felt like someone was standing outside of the car watching them. The 2 men stayed and tried to take more photos, but they started hearing voices.
The only question I would ask, they said they were taking a nap. Taking a nap in the daytime? I mean, I don't know. Whatever they want to call it. They want to call it nap time? Okay. Well, technically, somebody during that nap time could have walked down there. I mean, technically, I'm just saying. If your eyes are now fully vision on that beach, it'd be one thing. You're staring out at the beach for hours. You're staring at it, and you walk down there, and you know for a fact that nobody went down there, and there's footprints. That could be spooky. But they were apparently taking a nap during the day, and then they go down their footsteps. Well, you weren't down there, so you did take pictures, but if you would have took pictures during your looking down there, and then the footprints appear, that's one thing. But you were taking a nap.
Voices being carried around the beach by the wind. A dark and heavy feeling was weighing on them, so they left immediately, and as they drove away, the heavy feeling started going away. Eric had told his story to a fellow traveler, and the man had just finished a documentary about the haunted beach, and that there have been many sightings by locals and tourists of a giant hairy man walking out of the ocean at night. This beach is also home to many shipwrecks over time, and many believe that the souls that have passed away from these wrecks still roam the beach to this day. In at number 4, we have
So basically, Connor, if you didn't hear this, I only have one video in the paranormal. This is the only video I could find that's paranormal in Iceland. It is like 7 minutes, but it's like 2 videos in one.
Yep, reverse psychology. Do not go to these places.
And we are going to go to these places. So this is number 4.
Barton Lake. Barton Lake, otherwise known as White River Lake, is located in the highland on the Cajola Highland. Many icebergs surround the area, and because of the glacial rivers, the lake always looks a bit milky, which contributes to the nickname. One of the many huts or travel lodges in the highlands that locals and tourists can stay in while in Iceland. There is one hut in particular that is rumored to be haunted, and it's the mountain hut at Hitvarnes, nearby the lake. It's rumored to be one of the most haunted places in Iceland. The hut was built by the Icelandic Touring Association in 1930. And there are many paranormal stories surrounding this hut since its inception. Many claim to see the ghost of a young lady dressed in grey in the hut. Many locals and guests claim to experience.
Oh, I gotta tell Bob, this one is not dressed in white. He's dressed in gray. So there are ghosts that's not just dressed in white. I need to record that and send that to Bob. Say, hey, listen, there's a ghost they saw that's not in white.
Disturbances by the spirit, and some have claimed to have seen her in one of the windows from outside when arriving late at night, and then when entering the hut it was empty. A particular bed in the hut is believed to be unsafe and almost impossible to sleep in. Many people who have tried to sleep in the bed.
Wouldn't that be beautiful? I'm serious on this part. To have a picnic out there, sitting on that land, looking over the lake, and it's supposed to be haunted at the same time? Dude, that doesn't get better than that in life. I'm telling you, picnic on that land.
That's a picnic and a half.
Seriously, oh God, somebody needs to sponsor us now.
Claim that they have been kicked out of the bed by force during the night, and when they were woken up, no one was around. It's said that this is a ghost of a young woman, and it's her bed, and she won't allow anyone to sleep in it, hence why people are forced out of the bed while sleeping. Many traveling in Iceland avoid staying in the.
If we could go there, and they say the woman don't want nobody to sleep in his bed, but kind of, if we had permission would you try to sleep in that bed? Even though we're not supposed to?
You got to test the waters, man. Got to see what happens in this physical realm, and then what would happen in your dreams too when you're, on that pillow. But yeah, you got to be respectful, of course, but you got to bend the rules. That's how any progress gets made.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be sleeping in that bed.
This hut, but many paranormal investigators and ghost lovers visit to try and come in contact with the woman. In at number 3, we have Lagarfljo Cemetery. There are many cemeteries around the world, and many of them are haunted, and that's also the case for the Lagarfljo Cemetery. This cemetery is one of the most famous in Iceland and is often called the Old Churchyard. Opened in 1838 in Reykjavik, and is the largest 19th century cemetery in all of Iceland, and was replacing a previous burial ground used since the Viking times. The city placed the graveyard on a small hill a couple of blocks off the city's central pong. Some of Iceland's most famous people are buried here, including John Sigurðsson, the father of Icelandic independence, Johannes Sveinsson Kjarval, Iceland's most famous painter, and Ingeborg Bjarnason, the first woman member of parliament. The graveyard also houses many of the victims of the 1918 Spanish influenza pandemic and a monument to French sailors who were lost at sea. In a country with minimal trees, the cemetery is covered. There's practically a forest, which makes this resting ground that much more eerie. The graves are surrounded by willow, spruce, birch, and rowan trees. Many come to pay respects to the legendary Icelandic buried here, but many believe the old Vikings previously buried here, along with the influenza victims, are the ones who haunt the living to this day. A videographer from New Zealand that films his travels visited Iceland and went to the cemetery during the night, and he claims to have caught orbs on camera that were floating in and around the gravestones. He had created an entire video of this finding, and he was convinced that there is paranormal activity at this cemetery, and he was thoroughly spooked during his time there. Many paranormal investigators and ghost hunters come to try and interact with these spirits. Locals and tourists who have visited the cemetery have seen spirits and have felt that they are being watched. Many believe the spirits often haunt the grounds at night time, so if you're planning a trip to Iceland, I would avoid the cemetery, especially after the sun goes down. In at number 2, we have the Priest's Stone. Many people in Iceland and in the surrounding areas believe in and have many tales of elves, trolls, and fairy people. One of the most famous tales is about Haunted Rock, where a kind and loving priest's spirit haunts and terrorizes his love even after death, and he still haunts the rock and the people who visit it. The story has been told for ages and are very well known among the people of Iceland. It took place in Horgardula, not far away from a town of Akureyri. The story has slightly changed over time, but it's believed that it started on a stormy night before Christmas, when a priest's apprentice rode quite a distance to meet the woman he was in love with. On the way there, the weather was rough, and he drowned while crossing a raging river, and only his horse survived. His love, not knowing of his death, gets a visit the next evening. In the darkness, she believed that it was the priest's apprentice and goes out with him on his horse. During the ride, the man's hat falls off, revealing it was a skeleton. She gains no peace from this ghost, who wants her to join him in death. She goes to a sorcerer for help, and he achieves putting the ghost to rest, but it was on unholy ground, right outside the graveyard at the country church at Mykra. The cursed stone is still believed to hold the lovesick priest's apprentice captive to this day, and the stone is still very visible. Due to this famous tale, many tourists and locals come to see the cursed rock, hoping to come in contact with the priest's apprentice's ghost. In at number,
I don't know if you want to miss. I mean, if you're gonna mess with a ghost, a priest ghost, I don't know. Maybe that's kind of a ghost. I guess if you're gonna stay away from one, but like Connor says, you gotta test the waters. Drink some coffee on top of that cursed rock. I would offer the ghost some coffee if I was sitting on that rock. Maybe the ghost maybe the priest wants a good cup of coffee. Maybe that's all they want. They just want friends and talk. But all right, number 1 haunted place in Iceland that maybe one day in my life before I die, I get to go visit. What is the number 1 place in Iceland? Isn't like the only channel, guys, you get like information where when you go travel, I'm showing you the place that you should visit. Tell me how many channels do that. Here we go. Number 1.
We have Höfoi House. The most haunted place in all of Iceland is the Höfoi House. It is believed by locals and tourists to be the most haunted place. This home is located in the city of Reykjavik. It was built back in 1909 and sits on the waterfront just off Borgartun. This home was inspired by Nordic Art Nouveau and was constructed in Norway and shipped to Iceland. The Höfoi home has a haunting history. It was initially built for the French consul Jean-Paul Boulogne in Iceland. Then it was sold to a judge and a poet in Einar Benediktsson, who claimed it was haunted by the ghost of a young woman often nicknamed the White Lady. The ghost is that of Solberg Jonsdottir, who had poisoned herself after Einar's verdict on a notorious case. At the home, she would often appear at the night and haunt him, and the owners of the home claimed to hear strange noises and see the figure of a woman in the early hours of the morning. Other accounts believe that she had drowned or that their home was built on Viking burial site where the souls of the Vikings still roam the house and the land around it. This home is best known for in 1986 when former US President Ronald Reagan and Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev, where they discussed negotiations on military control and disarmament. The Hofoi has come to represent Iceland's diplomacy and the start of the demise of the Cold War. In 2015, a sculpture of Einar was made and is displayed outside the home. It has also housed many other famous figures over the years, including Queen Elizabeth, Winston Churchill, and Marlene Dietrich. Nowadays, the Hofoi is owned by the city of Reykjavik and is currently used for official receptions and meetings, and is not open to the public, but many locals and tourists flock to explore the home from the outside, hoping to come in contact with the ghost.
Not open to the public? What shit is this? Should be open to us anytime we want. God damn it. What the hell's wrong with them? You had Ronald Reagan and Akachev. I forgot what that Russian guy's name was at the time. You know, but the public can't visit it? Shit. I'll be like, Connor, we'll sneak into that fucking house somehow. We'll get in there. We'll get in there. You ain't gonna arrest a couple Americans. We'll get in there. We'll see how haunted that house. I mean, actually, listening to all this, none of it really sounds scary, right? Place not to visit. I mean, you can't even go in the house. You know? I don't know. What I do know is never look up, because we're about to visit some UFOs. Well, I had bad luck trying to find UFOs in Iceland. I really did. I couldn't find any good UFOs in Iceland. So this is not in Iceland, but it's over a lake. So maybe that's close enough for Iceland. I'm sorry. I just couldn't find
a lake that gets icy in the winter.
Yeah. It's called. This one's called Man Report Seeing UFO over Lake Norman. Sorry, guys, I couldn't really find anything in Iceland on UFOs.
Lake Norman is meant to be, though. If it's Lake Norman in the Carolinas, which it is, I'm so excited because they have a serpent too, Normie, and I actually have a picture of a Lake Norman in one of my books, and it has always been like a little halfway point from Cleveland to Florida. You have to go through Charlotte, at least couple of the avenues, and you go right past Lake Norman, man. So UFOs, serpents, it is sacred water.
Oh, right. See, I knew this would attract Connor.
More than 70 years, stories of UFO sightings have gotten around much faster than those unidentified objects themselves.
Yeah, well, Jason Swing says he recorded video of a cigar-shaped object flying right over Lake Norman. You see it here in the big monitor behind us. And now this clip is flying all over the internet and being featured by news outlets around the world.
So we sent our own Evan West out to investigate, and here's what he found.
Hey, this is a spacecraft.
Jason Swing had no idea the video he captured in our own backyard would make its way around the globe.
I'd never seen anything like that before.
There's only one way for the Mooresville man to describe his out-of-world experience.
It was just really crazy.
Plenty of weird happens on the water, but above Lake Norman,
it's a UFO. It's unidentified.
Jason's video shows this blimp-like object flying right off Hager's Creek boat landing. He says it was astronomically large.
Maybe two sizes of two 747s. It was massive.
He knows it's hard to believe. Other people have questioned the alleged UFO, but we went through the list anyway.
Oh, it was definitely not a drone.
Not a plane either.
For sure.
There's no abducting the evidence. After posting the clip on YouTube,
see that?
The views have eclipsed 100,000.
People from the UK's put it on their site. A lot of people's got in contact with me.
Experts from all over have seen the recording of the orbiting object.
And no one can tell me what it is.
Despite the extraterrestrial attention, Jason still has his day job, but his lease on life has ascended to a new atmosphere.
I feel like there's other life form, but after I saw this, I know there's something now.
Only one other person saw what Mr. Swing captured with his phone, and that person happened to be with him. So that doesn't mean that Mr. Swing didn't see a UFO here at Hager's Creek. All it means is that it's just one more unsolved mystery. Reporting in Lake Norman, I'm Evan West. Whoa, whoa.
I know there's something now.
Being captured with his phone.
Extraterrestrial attention, but his lease.
There's other life form, but anything like that before.
Of world experience.
There we go. Now, it is, you know, you kind of hear that kind of a same story with a lot of people who say, you know, they're kind of non-believers. Not really non-believers. They just don't really care to look into it until it happens to them. I mean, you hear that all the time. And for whatever reason, if it takes an event for you to start to really investigate it and believe in it, hey, it's better than having a believer any way you could get them. I mean, and I like how they did try to debunk, you know, two planes together know how big it is and all that. And, you know, any kind of findings like this, you're not going to have 10 million people with, you know, having the same image. I mean, it is a lake. You probably got less populated people. And then usually if you're in the water, you probably don't have your phone with you. So I don't need a lot of people to have the same footage to even for me to say it's real. I mean, I'm looking at it like, to me, it's very interesting.
For sure. And it's a glimpse of time, you know, for the chance to even get that footage, let alone multiple people. But yeah, I like it, man. He shot it vertical form and still got, you know, over 100,000 plays, where we edit our videos and make them look nice. And, you know, we're still forking over. But still very cool, and you never know what's above you. But Lake Norman is definitely a sacred spot. I hope one of these future episodes you do the cryptid Normie, the sea serpent of Lake Norman. I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, I do all cryptids. You know, it was somebody, I forget who it was in the chat, that says you should start doing some international stuff, and that's what I've been trying to do, get things international all around folklore, cryptid stories. But some countries, it is hard for certain things like UFOs. They don't really have much, you know. Now this next one is not really a UFO. There's they found the reason why this certain shape is what it is. I thought I'll share it to get you guys' opinion on it. This is called Spiral Phenomenon Explained. And this is Norway sky. This is Norway, close to Russia. So it is close to Iceland, I guess, in a way. So let's check it out.
Scientists from all over the world are trying to figure out what caused a mysterious blue light to spiral in the sky over Norway on Wednesday. CBS News correspondent Sheila McVicker has the latest on the mystery. Sheila, good morning.
Good morning, Harry. Mysterious light indeed. A light appearing high in the Arctic sky, baffling those who saw it and exciting a lot of comment. Early yesterday morning, just before dawn, this appeared in the Norwegian sky. That's Norwegian for what the heck is that? A blue light, small at first, growing into a spiral and then disappearing into what appeared to be a black hole. In the northern community of Trondelag and on a Norwegian military base, cell phones snapped, video cameras rolled, and bloggers got busy.
A spiral of light moving and then suddenly stopping. There's still a lot of speculation to what it could be.
The Arctic sky is no stranger to atmospheric phenomena. The northern lights and the seasonal flight of Santa, just two. But the explanation here apparently lies across the border with the Russian military and another failed missile launch. A respected Russian daily first reported this morning that the third stage of a sophisticated Bulava intercontinental missile failed. And space experts point to the spiraling of this missile as it failed to launch properly as an explanation for the shape seen over Norway, the halo, they say, produced by missile fuel. The Russian Defense Ministry has just reported that a test launch of a Bulava missile from a submarine in the White Sea failed. It's an embarrassing...
Okay, now, first of all, hold on a second. Okay, there's a picture of that. Now, I'm not here to say that's not a missile. I can't prove it is or what it is. But everything has a reasoning. When they want to get people off something, it's swamp gas, or it's a balloon. Is that a failed missile test? Maybe it is, probably is. But first of all, I'm asking myself, well, what are they doing on missile tests at night, in the middle of the night? I mean, I was in the military. A lot of your testing is done in the daylight because they're not planning on it to go around. They're planning on it to see how the explosion is, how long it goes. Why would they be doing it at night? I mean, seriously, that's the question I would have asked. Or is it just another typical cover-up?
I'm not there. Some deity in the sky, we got a glimpse of it, and then they want to, peel it off as a spiral or some meteorite, track flare. But I think sometimes that we do capture what's actually in the sky, and that's energy, and that's, beings. So that's the beings of heaven.
And it seems like what's sad about people, not all people, but a lot of people, once a media comes out and saying they have a reasoning explanation, and you're going to take that right out the bat, like, oh, there it is. That's what happened, without even want to research it even more. Without even coming back and asking simple questions. Okay, so it's a missile? So they're doing testing at night? What are they testing for? What's the test about? It just seems like, a lot of people do make fun of the media, but as soon as the media says something, okay, that's it. That's over. You're done.
Yeah, everybody's like asking for disclosure and like, when will the government prove Bigfoot? The government has lied to us every day of my life. I'm not running to them for nothing.
Every day. And I'm serious. When is the last time you ever heard the Russians admit to failure? I'm serious. These countries don't admit to failure. Nothing goes wrong on their end. Everything is perfect. I'm like, oh, they're admitting to failure? Okay. It is what it is. Like I said, maybe it is a failed missile launch. Not saying it's not, but you still got to question. You still got to question everything, people. Question everything. Especially when it's coming out on official news. Like, Donald Trump's ex-wife is dead. I guess that's important. We're not going to question. Well, actually, somebody died. I mean, I guess we should have questioned that. I mean, unless I guess the only way to question that is actually go to the grave, make sure it is. But guys, it's time for Mandela effect. I did found the only Mandela effect for Iceland. But let's get started.
Obi-Wan never told you what happened to your father.
He told me enough. He told me you killed him.
Luke, I am your father.
Before we get started with this last segment of the show, I do want to thank some great comments for last night's show. Great comments, a lot of comments. We got 2 comments from last night. Danielle Fraser, nice work, boys, nice. And the only other comment that we got for last night's show is from a guy named Bigfoot Anon, legendary show. So last night was a kick-ass show. We got 2 comments from last night. Just 2 comments. Okay. Hey, and one of us from you. So guys, what I'm saying is if you guys enjoyed the show, please leave even a simple comment, thumbs up or whatever it is. Say you liked it or something. Last night to me was a fun show. Yes, it wasn't Bigfoot. It wasn't paranormal. It wasn't Mandela effect, UFOs. I mean, we might have talked about would you ever do a documentary in something like this, but that's the closest we did. You know, and sometimes when people, if it's not the subject they want to hear, you know, but if you watched it, you enjoy it, please, it's simple. Couple seconds, leave a comment, thumbs up or something, because 2 comments just for yesterday's show, and one of us who was actually on the show.
Yeah,
so
and again, if I could be on the show on StreamYard and I can leave a YouTube comment, what is everybody else doing? You know, it's getting to a point that me and Eric, we give our heart and soul for this, man, and we ask for a few comments. A few comments? Are you serious? It's free. We got 1 comment and me. Please, guys. You know, we're just it goes a long way. A little goes a long way, but nothing goes nowhere.
And I do, a lot of times I do reply back, and I make sure I read them, put hearts. You know, Shelly left a good, cool comment on a show that we did 2 weeks ago. Daily Beast is Daily Dan. You know, I always, you know, there are comments. Don't get me wrong, people, but if you can, you know, leave a fast comment.
And I do want to say a special thank you to Danny, because I went and, you know, watched Derelict again, and I saw that Danny subscribed and commented. And, you know, Mitch is my friend. I brought him to the show, so he's like a bro to me. So I want the viewers that are here every week to, you know, if I say someone's cool, it's the same as me, y'all. Come on, you know. So you treat my friends like you treat me, but, you know, you guys don't treat us too much different. We just want to see a little bit more love. You know, we put on a 2-hour show that we prepare for all week, and can't take 3 seconds to comment. It hurts. And hopefully one day, you know, we're achieving our dreams, but one day I hope you don't, you know, realize that you took us for granted, you know?
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if you can't watch it live. Right here, Suzanne A. wrote, watching now. She's letting me know, hey, I'm watching it right now. I couldn't watch it live, but I'm watching it now. She wrote, watching now, Paranormal Highway, cool, short while later, awesome show, guys. Looking forward to shows coming. You know, you don't have to watch it live. You know, it's hard to, everybody's got lives. But when you get a chance, you know, please do. Now, this is the only Mandela effect I could find. It's another land change about the continent of Iceland. But that's all there is.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Meeks again. Hope you guys are doing well. Guys, I just wanted to make a video real quick about what I've noticed about Iceland changing.
You know, guys, if you look at the continent of Iceland, if you look in the top left, it almost looks like a face. It almost looks like there's a mouth right there. Where next to where it says Denmark Strait, it almost looks like a face. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but
I see a dragon.
A dragon? Yeah, there's a dragon. Well, let's see what else this guy says. Like I said, this is the only Mandela effect I can find of Iceland.
Geography-wise, with the Mandela effect, geography changes. This whole, gosh, guys, the whole west. Hold on, let me get a pointer here. My professional-looking pointer. The whole west side has totally changed for me. This coral reef looking stuff was never there before. I remember looking at a map of Iceland, sitting down with my friends and looking at a map of Iceland because we wanted to see how much of Iceland we could see in a day. You know, we were planning a day trip, and it was much more just lumpy and round without this like formation coming off it's like a coral reef looking thing coming off the side of it. That and when you step back, it kind of looks like some kind of sea monster now or something.
Sea monster? That's
like
what Connor was saying. Dragon?
Like W formation.
Scott says
almost.
like Jabba the Hutt.
That was not
okay.
This long, skinny, little knobby thing. That was not there before. I noticed I thought like, oh, how easy it would be to just take a big long drive like all around the coast, because it's like a simple like round country. It's just a simple round. there was none of this like intricate, complex stuff happening on the West Coast. That looks totally different to me now. I've noticed this for a while, but
I don't need to play anything more. I mean, listen, I'd be lying to you if I told you that growing up as a kid, I was looking at the maps and I was looking at Iceland. I had no reason growing up looking at Iceland. I mean, we travel to the mountains to go hunting. So I can't tell you at all what I remember for the shape of Iceland. But there is a lot of people who have said, land has changed. Land is changing. It is a parallel universe type of deal. I mean, I don't know on that. Iceland is the continent I just never. I guess I say I never cared for her when I was growing up. I'm just being honest. If I was allowed to travel to other countries as a kid, I mean, I don't consider Mexico or Canada like traveling to another country. I've been there so many times. They're like our friends, but I mean, I'd rather be traveling to Ireland, Scotland, the UK, Australia, stuff like that. Never in my mind, I had thoughts of going to Iceland growing up, but I would love to visit Iceland now. I know how beautiful it is, how much history there is there. I mean, I got a lot of respect for Iceland now, but just growing up, just being honest, never really truly thought about Iceland. But it is cool to think of there is shape of a dragon or Jabba the Hutt kind of there, and that is cool. That is cool. And I did refresh the page. I was told to refresh the page of the comments and Flat Rock put a comment. Thank you, Marie put a comment. And listen, most of you put these comments here. You guys do put comments more than most other people, and it's just cool. It's just cool to see comments. And I know sometimes when you have guests that come on, sometimes they'll go back to the video and see how people respond. And it's nice for them when you have guests to come on to see some comments that people liked it. Sometimes, if you're a guest and you see no response, like, maybe people didn't like me. So it is cool to see comments in that kind of a way and all that. Let me see. Any updates? I will be doing a show tomorrow, of course. I'll be doing them at 2 p.m. because, I'm still getting over the full sickness. And sometimes it takes me all day to warm up the vocals, because when you're just sick in the morning, your vocal sounds like crap. So that's why 2 p.m. The only update is the cartoon's coming. There's still 5% that needs to be done on it. I gave the guy all day today. Say, dude, send it to me tomorrow. Listen, I just wanted, we all want something to get done well, not rushed. But it's still be scheduled if everything goes right for Wednesday. But, the person needed another day for that 5% left, go for it. I'd rather have it done properly than just to get something rushed. Because, I am asking for unusual stuff in these animations. So are you saying I'm pushing the element? Yes, I'm pushing the element. So if it takes longer to get what I'm looking for, damn straight. Damn straight. So that is still being, an extra day. To me, I'm excited when I hear, hey, I need an extra day. I got 5% left. I'm excited to hear that for me. And the reason is they're taking it seriously and they feel like they need a little bit extra work. Do it. And I kind of need, honestly, my voice, any extra days to help it to clear out, to try to keep the same kind of voice tone that you heard in the last one. So whatever it takes, getting it done. So beyond that, that's the only update on that. And, and guys, you guys should all thank Connor for coming on. He's even at work and trying to squeeze it in, get the job done, but even at work, he's trying to get the information out, the word out. How do you not appreciate that?
I appreciate you, Eric. You have a great platform that we get to be ourselves and have fun throughout the week. Eric, could you go to your Instagram DMs? I sent you a flyer, some big news. A lot of big news recently, guys. C. Flynn, Bigfoot and I is going to be speaking at a couple events in the next few months.
Let me.
And I'm pumped. And thank you to all the people that did, go through and comment after. All you guys are dope. Just be on top of it even more.
Wow. And actually, one of them said, Connor, that they Hobbs even subscribed to Mitchell's channel.
I love Hobbs. I could count on Hobbs. We could count on a lot of people that are here right now. We want the equal amount of effort that we put into it out of you guys. And it requires. We don't want it. We require it. We want this to go, man. This is a cycle. This is love. But we go all in. So we want y'all to go all in too. And, Hobbs, Terry Brown, Brown Dwarf, Danny, they're all in, so we definitely appreciate y'all. But yeah, guys, Outcast Paranormal presents the North Florida Paracon. I'm sure you could click it one more time and actually get it a little bit bigger. But Stacy Brown is going to be speaking, James Brost, Connor Flynn, and somehow, come on, guys, the flyer, they spell my name wrong and they don't even put my last name. Come on, I guess I'm Seal. I'm just one name, I'm like Connor with an E, it's check my Facebook, check the cover of books. My name is Places, spell it right. But honestly, I don't care. Bill Brock, he lives in Conjuring House. RPG, he was on Expedition Bigfoot. Chaz, in the bottom left-hand corner, he has been on our show before, talking about UFOs. And I remember Amy Boo, she's from the Olympic Project. She came in and watched our show. It was the first time she ever came in. She said, are all the shows always like this, or is Chaz just a genius? And I said, well, I think both of those are true. But then Ken is in the bottom right-hand corner. He is crazy, paranormal guy, can summon demons. And it's going to be at a haunted venue in Tallahassee, $15 for tickets. It's going to be cheap as heck, man. And all those legends right there, I am so excited.
That is sweet. And what's cool about it is, you're so much more than just a Bigfoot guy. You think Bigfoot and on, you think Bigfoot conferences. This is called Outcast Paranormal. Something you wouldn't think. I know you be doing it, but this should help to tell other people that you are more than just about Bigfoot. You're about everything, because you're going to be talking at Outcast Paranormal.
I could be speaking at music conferences, at sports conferences, video game conferences. If you guys are promoters or putting together events, put me in it. I'll research it if I don't know it, and I'll put on a show. I got energy, man. You got it sometimes, and yeah, they struck gold when they got me on the roster right there, because that place is going to be legendary, man. It's
October.
People are going to leave with their minds blown.
October 22nd, and it's in the month of Halloween.
Yup, at a haunted venue, and the weekend before that, I am hosting a camp out with Manimal Research. So I'm super excited about that. It's going to be up in Tennessee. I know, Scott's from Tennessee, a bunch of other people, so hopefully you guys will rendezvous up with me, and we'll be camping at the Cherokee National Park.
That is awesome, because October, that's the month that I'll be at the Bigfoot conference up in
Yakima.
I'm forgetting the city. It's technically not in Yakima. It's a place that's 10 miles away from Yakima, but, that's the nearest city for it. But that kicks ass. And you're saying Stacy Brown's going to be there too?
Yeah, Stacy's going to be there. And James, he, runs Outcast Paranormal, and then RPG right in the center of it. He, is on Finding Bigfoot, Expedition Bigfoot. He's definitely a huge inspiration on energy and just vibes and attitude, because this world will break you down and turn their back on you so quick, but you have to still remain you. And, sometimes that's hard, but I try to remember, people like Donnie, like RPG, like the people that challenged me during my childhood to, now I'm proving them wrong in every aspect. But it says cryptids and conspiracies, so that's what I'm going to be talking about.
Jinx, bro, Stacey Brown, Bill Brock. For a second, I was like, is that Ozzy? No, it's not. It's Chris of the Dead. But it looked like
That's
Ozzy
Chaz.
for a second in his chair.
That's Chaz. He's been on our show. He's a young gun.
Yeah, that's Chaz. But for a second, it looked like Ozzy. I don't know why. Sitting on his couch looking at paranormal videos. And then, who's this guy? What's that say, Ken?
Yeah, Ken. He has been in a bunch of Stacey's documentaries. He is really into the occult and, can summon demons and stuff. It's super, super crazy.
And in the middle, Ryan Rick Goldbisk.
Yeah, Ryan Golembeski, and that's RPG. That's the guy that was on Finding Bigfoot and Expedition Bigfoot. And he is definitely, he's emceeing the Smoky Mountain Conference in Tennessee next weekend that me and Flat Rock are rolling together too. And it's going to be legendary, man. And that's all family, and that's all us. That's what I'm really proud of. We're going to cover the bases, and this is just my speed dial. All these guys are just friends, So again, we are doing this, and Florida is a unique place that we are open-minded and open to new people as well. Some of these people in Oregon and Washington and British Columbia, no, they can't have any new people. All their locations are secret. Come down to Florida. We'll show you the skunk ape. We'll show you some cursed swamps, and we'll be hospital the whole time.
Well, let's read this. Connor, I am going to be receiving a massive inheritance soon as probate settles. If you could contact me, I am interested in financing a project, major budget. Okay.
Man, just keep me interested, A lot of people pitch a bunch of offers until, get it going and then hit me up. I'm part of it, bro.
Well, hold on a second. Hold on. I'm kind of hurt. Why can't I say Connor and Eric? Oh, no, just Connor. I wouldn't want to be interested in a project. Oh, man, Danny, I'm hurt now. I'm hurt. I'm not involved, but no. Beyond that, guys, I appreciate you guys being here. I'll be back tomorrow at the same time, and hopefully I'll have an update to say I got the graphics cartoon part in my hand, and it's ready for the voices, so you never know. Tomorrow you might get to hear that. But beyond that, I want to thank everybody for being here. Thanking Connor for being at work and being here. So, guys, have a good day.